आनंद बालुडे आनंद बालुडे तन गुंपुतो आडुकनगवच्चे रामचंद्रुडे रामचंद्रुडै तन बंतुलनु कनुगొనగవచ్చే
Om Shri Sai Ram. In this Telugu poem that was written by none other than Swami himself, Swami describes to us that it's very poetic in Telugu where Swami says, Nanda Balude, that son of Nanda, Ananda Balude, he has come to give Ananda. Swami says, Ramachandrude, Ramachandrude, the break meaning that Ramachandra, Ramachandrude has come at leisure, and he says he has come again, that Lord Krishna, that Lord Rama has come back again as Lord Sai, to play with his near and dear and to take care of them. What a wonderful Lord that we have, who tells us that he has come back just for us. In fact, Swami says that he separated himself from himself in order to love himself. So he came down and he separated, and thereby we came by, and he came only to love himself, and his expression was how he loves us. Professor Kasturi says that Swami is tremendous, Swami is mysterious, and Swami is fascinating. And that is his description of Swami based on, his experiences with Bhagwan on a day-to-day basis. Now, those are the three aspects that we are going to cover, and we would add another very personal aspect, which is he is tremendous, he is mysterious, he is fascinating, and he is also mischievous. Because that is again a trademark of Bhagwan, where he would behave, with all his maya, he would be so mischievous with those who have been near and dear to him, who have physically seen him in close proximity, know that all of these epithets and more are so true with Bhagwan. Even as he came down for restoration of dharma and the resurrection of Vedas and all those grand missions, at the same time he came down for each and every one of us. He came down to build a relationship for each and every one of us, such that I'm sure each of us have a Bhagavatam of our own life with Bhagwan. And each of us will have a unique way by which Swami pulled us to him. And that is the beauty, that is the mystery of this wonderful Sai avatar. And these are some of these moments which we will be sharing with all of you this evening. So the first story that we would like to recall is, this happened when Swami visited the hostel one evening. And in our hostel, we have our own little store, which would cater to all the needs of the students, where you would get your daily essentials, your toothpaste and your soap and your t-shirts, track pants, just for the students, so that they don't have to go outside to buy anything. It would be available in the hostel itself. And on this occasion, when Swami visited the hostel, he was to visit all these little departments where the students run the dietary in the hostel. Some students are in charge of the stores, some of them are in charge of the audiovisuals, some of them are in charge of the dining hall, the dietary services. So each student who has a designated duty assigned was to receive Swami in his own little department. And the boys, when Swami visited, they had the privilege of taking Swami's Pada Namaskar after Swami blessed the premises. So as it was to be, there were a few boys who were waiting in the stores for Swami to bless the store premises as well. And the stores was one of the last places that Swami was to visit, so they were there was a lot of trepidation about whether Swami would have the time for it or not. And there were a good number of students who were a part of the stores. So all of them were hopeful that Swami would come and Swami would be having enough time for all of them to get there that one moment with Swami. So Swami visits all the other departments, and as he's crossing the stores, the students plead, saying, Swami, please come inside and bless the stores. Swami says, yes, let's go in. He comes inside, he sees the items on display, and he talks to them, he makes some small talk. Swami says, yes, it's time for me to go, take Pada Namaskar. So the first boy goes, he takes his Pada Namaskar. The second boy goes, and so all the boys are telling, as they're standing in line, they're telling each other, saying, don't take much time, quickly go, because there are a lot of people behind you. So don't take too much time with Swami. So one of the students goes down, he goes to Swami's feet, he bends down, and the rest of the boys are watching, he's not getting up. He's lost at the feet of his beloved Sai. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And Swami doesn't seem to be flustered. Swami is just standing there, and he's talking to the others. But the rest of the boys they know that any moment Swami would say, okay, done, let me go. And, there's a chatter in the back end of the line saying, what is he doing? We told him, we told everybody not to take so much time. Every second ticks, and there's no movement from this boy. He's there at Swami's feet. Nearly a minute and a half passes, and by now the students are livid because, we are nearly going to lose our chance, and he's still not gotten up. Finally, he gets up, and he's all teary-eyed. Why? Because he has had the chance of such a long Pada Namaskar at Swami's feet. But then Swami allowed the rest of the boys to get their chance. So temporarily they were, okay, fine, we'll deal with this fellow later. Let's get our chance. And Swami gives everybody Pada Namaskar, and Swami leaves the stores, and all the guys pounce on this student. See, what is wrong with you? We told you, right, not to take so much time. We nearly lost our chance. And he's like, wait, you have no idea. What, no idea? Of course we know. What is this? We didn't expect this. And he says, brothers, do you know what happened? He says, you saw me at Swami's feet. Do you know why I'm crying? He says, between Swami's big toe and his second toe, he caught this boy's nose. He says, Swami didn't let me get up. And nobody saw this because his head was under Swami's robe. And here everyone's thinking he's in bliss. And that was what Swami was doing. Pinning him down with just two of his toes, and not letting that brother get up. So that is the mischievous Lord that we have.
Absolutely. One other very mischievous and beautiful story. It so happened that it was the summer course time. So summer course typically happens in Whitefield near Bangalore. And all the students of the university are expected to attend. And there is also a time where Swami spends a lot of very intimate time with students, boys and girls. So it so happened that on one occasion, Swami was in the Trai Brindavan, which is his residence in Brindavan, in Whitefield. And Swami was sitting in the Jula. And let me just give you a very brief description of how the room looks. So there are two parts to the room. Then there's one kind of a curvature room, circular room. And then inside you have a round hall. So in the round hall, all the faculty from the Anantapur campus were sitting, all the ladies were sitting inside, and all the gents were, all the boys were sitting in the circular hall. So, out of the blue, Swami is talking, and then Swami says, suddenly, Swami sometimes will play the Narada card, the Narada, Lord Narada, he'll just want to start some mischief, right? So he says, he looks at all the boys and says, all these ladies, they keep complaining that I spend all my time with boys only, that I don't spend time with, them. So what do you have to say about it? Is it true? Okay, and immediately, all the students kind of got up and said, no way, Swami, I mean, we deserve it, whatever. Okay, and then Swami looked at, see, they are saying they deserve it. He looked at the women teacher, and the women teachers also got up, in cudgels and said, no, Swami, we are also your children, we are also your daughters, etc., etc. And oftentimes, Swami would say, just to keep them kind of satisfied, he would say, you are all my street lamps. Okay, these are all my street dogs. all the boys were street dogs, all the sisters were street lambs. We didn't mind being dogs actually. If that meant, kind of running behind Swami, no problem. Anyway, so that's what starts. And then, Swami, we are also your daughters. Okay, and then Swami says, see, that they have got a good point. They are also my daughters. I should spend time with them also. And so it started. A debate, a very heated argument between the boys, and the girls. Okay, each one telling why, Swami should be spending more time with them. Okay, and Swami is just, very happily, jolly, kind of enjoying this fight. And at the heat of the, at the peak of the argument, in the absolute heat of the argument, the boy said, we can do anything that the sisters can do. Now, what is it that the sisters can't do? And so the sisters got up and said, we make chapatis. Can you make chapatis? Okay, so every day for the summer course, like there were 2,000 students, so 2,000 chapatis had to be made, right? And so all the sisters would do the chapatis. Okay, so, they said, can you make chapatis? And all the boys said, yes, why not? Okay, and that's when Swami said, okay, bus. Okay, and so the whole session got over, and then Swami looks at the boys, and says, now you have to make chapatis tomorrow. What are you going to do? And that's when it hit all the, the brothers saying that, oh my God, what are we going to do now? We don't know how to make chapatis.
2,000.
Okay, and that, 2,000 minimum. 2,000 in the afternoon and 2,000 in the evening, which means darshan sessions are gone because whole day you will be only rolling chapatis. And so now what do we do? So there was a high level, committee meeting, just like we have. And now, who is going to solve this chapati issue? So, all the warden and the director and everybody met together to decide what is to be done. So they came up with an idea, get every guy on earth, whoever can, roll, not roll, bring all the students together in the dining hall early in the morning at 3 o'clock and start rolling chapatis. Okay, and that's it. All the brothers came, at 3:30. They started. No suprabhatam that day. It was only chapati making. Okay, and all the chapatis, one is in Tasmania, one is becoming in Australia. Okay,
India.
One is becoming India. One, we are just not getting the globe, which is supposed to be the round. Okay, and everybody's like frantically, oh my God, this is like, Izzat ka sawal. This is like our nose is on the line, our neck is on the line. And at about 5:30, Swami sends word. Swami sends word. So a couple of boys run in. Okay, and Swami says, what's happening to the chapatis? I said, Swami, it's all gone. Swami, today we are gone. Then Swami said, I'm giving you an idea. Don't tell I gave this. Swami would send his carrier, all the food carrier with the big boxes. He would send it to hostel because hostel would send Swami food. Okay, and Swami said, that carrier is there, no? With that carrier, you make off round chapatis. So you roll the entire dough all over the place, and then just go and put these boxes and make it round. Okay, and needless to say, after that, every chapati was absolutely perfect, absolute round. And the sisters, as usual, had to see stars. Like, and then Swami comes and then during the lunchtime, he comes and says, so Amma, Jayamma was Jayamma Garu is the warden of the hostel, the Anantapur hostel, says, Jayamma, how are the chapatis? Okay, and she says, Swami, they're so good, Swami. Right? So that was one day when Swami kind of saved all the students. So this is the lovely Swami that we have.
Yeah. So here goes. I have a similar story. I was in my 11th grade. I had just taken the commerce stream. So I was sitting in the bhajan hall, and I used to sit in the corner near the mat with the bhajan boys. And one evening, there's this university grant commission. Okay, they are the big shots of education, of college education in India. So they give the grants for the college universities, including our Sathya Sai University. So all the big shots of the UGC had come. Sorry. And Swami at such times, what he would do is, he would like to, he's such a proud mother. So he would like to show off his, bright students before the University Grants Commission. So he would call all the boys who were doing their PhD. They were all pursuing their doctorate in various subjects, and he would call all of them, and most of them would be a little short in height. And then, Swami would call them and ask the UGC, what class is this boy studying? And then they would say, Swami 10th, Swami 11th, then Swami would proudly say, he's doing PhD. And then, they would go, oh, wow, because we really had some boys who looked really tiny, but they were doing their doctorate. So Swami came and he called this UGC group into the interview room. Then he came into the bhajan hall, stood at the bhajan hall door. Those days we would sit inside. He looked towards the corner where I was also sitting, and then he said, hey, Ravi. So I got up. And he said, go in to the interview room. And I walked past him into the interview room. So he gave me way like this, He made me pass and then go into the interview room. I jolly well went and sat inside the interview room. And after me, I saw 4 or 5 other boys coming, I saw all these senior brothers coming and sitting next to me in the interview room. I was the first to enter. And behind me, in the bhajan hall, there would be, I think morning, Prem was mentioning there is a Dr. Ravi Kumar. Swami would call him also Ravi. He would sit right behind me. So he was doing his PhD, one of those 8-9 years that he was doing. So he was sitting right behind me, and he also came in. But I took no cognizance of that. I was sitting right in front of Swami. Swami came and sat. He saw all these PhD scholars. Then he saw me also. And he smiled. And I smiled. I was very happy doing Padaseva for Swami. And then what happened was, Swami told the UGC people, here are my PhD boys. And that is the first time my eyebrows went up a little. But it's okay, they are the PhD brothers. I knew, they're all much senior to me in hostel. Then Swami started asking one by one from the other corner. He asked, what subject are you doing PhD? And the first brother said something in mathematics, which I didn't understand, obviously. I was in 11th grade. And then next person in physics, next person, Dr. Ravi Kumar in chemistry, he said his topic. And all the UGC people were going, wow, Swami, very good topic, wonderful topic. 5th year, he's about to finish. All this was going on, all claps and all that. And I was getting a little nervous by now because that semicircle was finally ending with me. I was the last person. And I when it was 2 guys away from me, I was now fervently praying, Swami, no, not me, not me, not me. But then it happened. Then it came to me, and then Swami, the mischievous, the fourth divine principle of Swami, that is mischievous nature. He looked at me and he said, Noora, yeah, you, Ravi, what is your topic? I was like, I just finished my 10th grade, just gone into commerce stream, and I didn't know what to say, which subject also. No subjects were coming to mind. And I looked up and, Cheppu, he said, tell them which subject. I said, Swami, accountancy. Because commerce, accountancy, and economics, these were the 3 subjects I just started. So I said accountancy, because I thought it was a middle path. So, and then he said, accountancy, very good. And then I looked around and those UGC guys were like, oh, accountancy, very good. And by now I was shaking like a leaf, and I was so afraid, and I was sweating. And then everything else went on well anyway. And then everyone got up, and then Swami said, okay, it's all done. The interview was done, dusted, and then everyone is taking namaskar and going out. And then he told me, wait. So I just waited in the interview room, and then everyone else went. And then he saw me. I was still shaking like a leaf, and I was sweating, and he said, what happened? Why are you afraid? I said, Swami, I'm like, I goofed up or whatever. I said, Swami, I'm afraid. Why are you so afraid? Why are you afraid? Okay, well, PhD in accountancy, because I came outside and then I found out nobody does a PhD in accountancy. Accounting rules are set, I'm sure. So, but then Swami said, don't be afraid, right? He said, don't be afraid. Like, why so serious? We all heard this, right? In some of the famous movies, why so serious? So Swami said, don't be so serious. It is for tamasha, just tamasha. Have some fun, he said. I said, oh, thank you so much, Swami. And then I fell at his feet, and all was well after that. So this is a mischievous Swami, drama in real life for us.
So here is a beautiful song that actually captures this very sentiment. and we sing it here. There's another song which Swami used to love a lot.
प्यारे साई हमारे, दिल खोल देखो ये मेरा, इसमें न कोई दूजा, बस एक तेरा बसेरा। प्यारे साई हमारे, तुम पास जब भी आते, जरा सा जब मुस्कुराते, अपनी प्यारी प्यारी नजर से साई रोते दिलों को हंसाते। प्यार भरी नजरों से रोते दिलों को हंसाते। प्यार भरी नजरों से रोते दिलों को हंसाते। मेरे साथ दिल में उमंग और खुशी भर लाते। प्यारे साई हमारे, जीवन के हर एक पथ पर तेरे ही संग हम चलेंगे। तेरे बिना है जीना मुश्किल, हरदम ये कहता है दिल। तेरे बिना है जीना मुश्किल, हरदम ये कहता है दिल। जीवन के हर एक पथ पर तेरे ही संग हम चलेंगे। हाथों में भर कर हाथ, तेरे ही संग हम चलेंगे। हाथों में भर कर हाथ, तेरे ही संग हम चलेंगे। मेरे साथ तेरे बिन जिया जाए न साई। प्यारे साई हमारे, दिल की ये सुन लो कहानी। तेरे बिन जिया न जाए, सुनी लगे जिंदगानी। प्यारे साई हमारे, प्यारे साई हमारे, प्यारे साई हमारे।
I recollect when we were all in our third year in undergraduation. So this is something that happened during the Dasra celebrations, the Navaratri celebrations. So typically during the Navaratri, in the evenings in Sai Kulwant Hall, before Bhagwan's discourse, there would be 3 talks. There would be a talk by an elder, there would be a talk by a teacher, and then there would be a talk by a student. And following that will be Swami's discourse. So, the best speakers in the university will get a chance to speak. So typically all the elocution competition winners for that year will be selected to speak, in front of Swami in the Prasanthi Vidwan Mahasabha. It will be like 50,000 people, okay? And so somebody like really good has to speak in Swami's presence. So all the boys were selected. And so before every day, before in the morning, the warden will show Swami a photograph, saying, Swami, this is today's speaker. And so he showed the photograph and Swami said, okay. Now this boy, it so happened that this was his first year. He was a first year student. And this was for the first time that he was going to come so close to Swami, So like he was going to talk to Swami. So in the evening, as it is, he's extremely nervous about his talk. And Swami starts to come in the veranda. Okay, and he walks up to him and he says, "Ha boy, kidhar se hai?" Okay, and this is the first time Swami is talking to him. Okay, and this brother, extremely emotional brother, okay, meaning he's a fantastic actor, but he's such a good actor because he's such an emotional person. He was like, he just melted, like, Swami talking to me, kind of a thing. And he could barely say, it was something like that. Okay, so then Swami said, "Oh, very good, very good, very good." Swami goes and sits, his name is introduced, okay, and this brother goes up to the podium, 50,000 people waiting, and he says, "Offering my loving pranams at the lotus feet of my beloved Lord. When the heart is full, words are few. Jai Sai Ram." Okay. He just did not speak that day. Just one line and his talk was over. And Swami also now sitting over there, Jai Sai Ram. Huh? Like, what happened to this guy? Okay. And so then Swami was a little unhappy. Oh no, what is this? How can you? It's almost like a joke, right? It's almost like my heart is full, words of you, I don't want to speak, good night kind of a thing. So Swami came back, and he was like reprimanding the warden. So he said, "Swami, very sorry, Swami. Tomorrow we will ensure a good speaker." So the next day, a third year student, a final year student is being selected. Okay, and this brother goes up to the podium, and he is somebody whom Swami has spoken to a lot. Okay, and supposedly a good speaker. He goes, stands at the podium, and he starts speaking. And in the middle of his speech, he says, "I am reminded of a story." Okay, I don't know why he said "I'm reminded of a story," because he doesn't remember anything after that. How can you even say you're reminded of a story, Because he just goes absolutely quiet after that. He's just holding on. And then he repeats, "I'm reminded of a story." Okay. And Swami is looking at him, and he is absolutely perspiring because he has forgotten the rest of his speech. Okay. And that's it. After that talk, Swami kind of just called it, he said, "No more students." Okay. No more students. We'll have only elders and teachers speaking. And just imagine all the rest of the lineup, the 7 other boys who were supposedly to speak, they were like crestfallen. Like, what did we do to not get a chance to speak in front of Swami? So a couple of days got over, and the warden would say every day, "Swami, please, Swami." And Swami said, No, it's okay, no need. Because so many people are there, you can't be like kind of goofing up like this. So Swami said, no need. So after 2 more days passed, okay, and finally, Swami kind of relented, and Swami said, "Okay, let us have one more, student." So, this was the previous evening. Swami permitted for the next day a student. So that guy was like the entire university's burden was on him, So he was from the vice chancellor onwards. Everybody heard his speech, ensured that it was absolutely fine. So he was like ready, all set, and he had just mugged his speech absolutely from the bottom of his heart, the bottom of everything in his body. Okay. He went there and he just gave a flawless performance. It was not a great performance, but a flawless performance. Okay. But what resurrected the entire university was the speech that followed that speech. Okay. And this was by a senior member within the Sathya Sai organization, extremely respected gentleman. Okay. Because once he comes to the speech, God knows what happened to him. That day, he made some absolute bloopers in the audience. Okay. For example, I'll give you a couple of them. He said, Navratri time, right? So he said, "Here we are seated next to Sai Mahishasura." Okay. He actually wanted to say Sai Mahishasura Mardini. Okay. Mahishasura was the demon who was killed by the Devi. Okay. So Mardini means the one who kills. Mahishasura is the demon. He says Sai Mahishasura and starts to cough. Okay. So Sai Mahishasura, he starts coughing. So Swami says, "Give him water." So he drinks the water. Okay, and everybody's laughing. Okay, over there, we're like giggling. You cannot laugh in front of Swami, so you're giggling. And then after he clears his own Mardini, he says. Okay. So that's the first blooper. Second blooper, he says, in a few days' time, we will see Swami doing the Prokshanam. Prokshanam is, on the final day, Swami will dip that broom kind of a thing, and he will throw water on everyone. So that's called Prokshanam. So Swami would do that. It's a beautiful, everybody wants to kind of, get one drop from Swami and all that. He says, seeing that divine thing happening, that Prokshanam happening, and he says, "It's reminded me of Lord Varaha avatar." Okay, Varaha is a boar avatar. the boar avatar of Lord Vishnu, after his fight with Hiranyaksha, when he came out from the seas, he shook his body, and the water from the body fell on the three worlds, and all the three worlds were sanctified. Such is our great Lord. And and Anil Kumar sir, who was sitting behind, translator, he says, says, this fellow did not get any other animal. Okay, and the last blooper was, very quickly, one more blooper was Swami says, he says, just imagine in Swami's presence, okay, very learned person. He says, seeing so many devotees flock to Bhagwan is like, house flies flocking around a meat piece. How house flies hover around a meat piece, that is how devotees hover around Bhagwan. Okay, and that's it. After that, Swami finishes the discourse, he comes back and he says, I think from tomorrow we don't need elders, let 2 students speak.
So this is what Mother Saraswati can do, He can get onto the tongue of anybody as senior as that devotee was and make him say all these things, just so that students get some benefit.
So one of the vice chancellors of our university, just as he had assumed, after he had assumed office, Swami had invited him to Swami's residence to dine with Swami over lunch. So he sits there for lunch. He is obviously, it's a great privilege to sit at the table when Swami is there. And Swami is supervising all the dishes being served to him. And the vice chancellor noticed that there was a cucumber salad that was also being served to all the others. So when the boy came to him, he just politely told the boy, I don't eat cucumber, so don't serve it for me, please.
Because why didn't he?
Yeah, so that's what. So the reason for his refusing cucumber is because many years ago he had visited Kashi. Kashi is a holy city where it is one of the traditions is when you visit Kashi, you give up something which you don't, which you like, you give it up when you go there. It's almost like, you're sacrificing that when you make a visit. That is your offering to the Lord at Kashi. So he had, many years ago, he had given up cucumber when he had visited Kashi. So that being the reason, he just told that student, please
Incidentally, that was also the time, there was many decades before he came to Swami.
don't. Many years ago.
And he used to drink, he used to smoke, and he used to eat non-vegetarian. But that day, standing in Ganges in Kashi, he gave up cucumber.
So then Swami notices that this particular dish has not been served, and Swami says, no, take that. So he says, no, Swami. He says, no, you take. So, because he has to be polite, he allowed that student to come back and serve it in his plate, but he didn't eat it, right? Because he thought he has given it up, so he should not eat it. Swami notices this, and Swami says, you're not eating that, eat that. So he smiles and says, no, Swami, slowly Swami's smile became a serious face, and Swami says, eat it. So how do you respond? And I'm asking you to eat it, eat it. So with great, he's feeling that he's breaking his vow of sorts, and as he's picking it up to eat, Swami says, 30 years ago, when you went to Kashi, you had so many bad habits. You didn't give up any of those, and you gave up cucumber. And then Swami said, on that day, I decided that I will make you eat cucumber one day. Lord Kashi Vishwanath watches what we are offering. And Swami said, of all the habits that you have, you didn't give up any of that. That day I decided that I will make you eat cucumber. Imagine, it took Swami 30 years, but Swami made sure that it did happen.
One last little incident about, even the previous incident I was speaking about how Swami likes to talk about his students doing well in the university, especially in front of guests. So there was this time when some other guests had come, some people from international and from India, and they were sitting on the guest portico on top of the mandir. And we all students would sit in the middle portico in the mandir. And Swami was going past, and he was asking every student what grade he got in the previous semester. And in our university there, O grade is the highest. So everybody was saying, Swami, O grade, Swami, O grade. And Swami was just swelling with pride. No, he was saying, oh grade. And he would look at those guests, and the guests would be very impressed. Oh, wow, Swami, everybody is getting an O grade here. O grade. One of my friends, he was sitting in the middle of all this. And then Swami asked him, what grade? He said, Swami, A grade. And then Swami's face fell. Everybody is saying A grade. This fellow is saying, everybody is saying O grade. He's saying A grade. And then Swami went past. Swami went to the end of the portico where everyone was O. And then he came back. Swami will not leave. He comes back to the same guy again. And then he asks him, what grade did you get? And he is looking sternly into his eyes. And he once again wants to say A. He says A, he starts, and then Swami is doing, Swami is doing. She says, Ew, Swami. Good boy, Swami said. But yeah, that was the fun part, what happened in front of all of us. But then he says that the message he took back is he will not get an A grade. So he made sure that he went on to get an O grade in the next semester. So he went from an A to an O. So that AO actually became true. So in the middle of all that fun, he got this lesson for himself too.
Yeah, we had so many more stories to share, but we have unfortunately run out of time. And before there are some snipers sitting up there.
I can already see one on your forehead, actually.
Already on my forehead, right?
Red dot.
There
Red
are
dots
a couple of, I think, red dots on all our foreheads. So we've been asked to wrap up. Can you see the red dot? So we'll just end it. We'll just end this evening with a very beautiful and very poignant story that once Swami told. In fact, it's an analogy that Swami said. He said, one day he was sitting with all the students in the room and he said, have you ever been to a wedding? Yes, Swami. In the wedding, who eats first? For the food, who eats first? He said, Swami, all the guests eat first. He says, after the guests finish, Swami, then all the relatives eat. After the relatives finish, Swami, then the bride and the groom and the families finish. They sit. After they finish, said Swami, then we give it to the cooks and all the other servants and whoever have come to them. After they finish, if something is left, Swami, then we have just throw it out, and then Swami says, who eats that? Said, Swami, some dogs, crows, and whatever. And then Swami said, my devotees also give me food like that. They give me love like that. They first give their love to everybody else in the world, and whatever is last bit remaining, that is given to God. But even then, I'm waiting for that kind of love. I desire that kind of love. Even that much love if you give me, that satisfies me. But Swami that day compared himself to a dog, to a crow, only to tell us, is Swami for us the last in our life or the first in our life? That is something that we have to keep in our minds. So we'll just end this warm and fuzzy evening with a song. And as we go back to the bed tonight, let's ask ourselves that if we want to go back to the source, then the source must be the first thing in our lives and not the last thing in our lives.
There is something special in your love that draws us all so close to you. And every time we look up to you, Sai, we have found it's true. कि प्यारे साई हम तुम्हारे लिए, जीना है तो सिर्फ तेरे लिए. Listen to the strokes of our hearts, they say, Sai, we love you. Listen to the strokes of our hearts, they say, Sai, we love you. In this tiresome journey of life, you're our only friend. In this tiresome journey of life, you're our only friend. Lead us on and we will follow till the very end. कि प्यारे साई हम तुम्हारे लिए, जीना है तो सिर्फ तेरे लिए. Listen to the strokes of our hearts, they say, Sai, we love you. Listen to the strokes of our hearts, they say, Sai, we love you. And all that we can say today is we belong to you. And all that we can do for you to show how much it's true. कि प्यारे साईं हम तुम्हारे लिए, जीना है तो सिर्फ तेरे लिए. Listen to the strokes of our hearts, they say, Sai, we love you. Listen to the strokes of our hearts, they say, Sai, we love you. Listen to the strokes of our hearts, they say, Sai, we love you.
Thank you, Sai Ram. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Shiva. Sai Ram, everyone. Good night.